Stop talking about comic books or I'll kill you. I don't care if the Hulk could defeat the Man of Steel.
Hey there, comic fans. How you doing? Welcome to Everything Comics, and of course, another episode of Having Comics with My Coffee. I'm your host, Bullseye Bob, and I just want to say good morning. Thank you for tuning in. As you can see next to me, I am not alone. Got my good friend Sam from Sam's Tangled Web. How you doing there, Sam?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Looking forward to the show.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming on.
Oh yeah, free coffee is always a good thing.
Always a good thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and it's ever since the last time we did the show, I've been looking for an opportunity to have you on, and I figured today would be a good opportunity because we're going to go to the Frankenstein swap afterwards, right?
That's going to be fun.
That's going to be awesome. If you guys don't know, the Frankenstein swap is an event that we have here in Portland. They put it on once a quarter, and it is it's basically the closest thing you'll get to an original Comic-Con.
Yes.
Right? It's just a huge room with nothing but long boxes and people going through comics. It's awesome stuff. And so we'll be going to that today along with the rest of the Portland Comics crew. We're going to have Bueller will be there.
Bueller will be there.
And Damien, and then also Hack.
Yeah.
And I forget the other guy's name.
Adu.
What's that?
Adu.
There you go.
Yeah.
He'll be there.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be an awesome time. We've been looking forward to that.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, as you can see, we're sitting here inside of a coffee shop, and that's what we do on this show. We get together in a local local coffee shop. We have some great coffee, and we talk about the comics that we picked up this week.
Yeah.
And before we get into that, I just want to say that the coffee shop that we're in is the Refuge. The Refuge Coffee House here in Portland, 9217 Southeast Foster Road. If you haven't been here, it's a great place to hang out, a great place to have coffee, definitely a great place to come read your comics.
Oh, definitely.
And this is one of the places that we definitely hang out. They're gracious enough to let us come in here and do the show. And if you're ever in Portland, let me know. We'll come here. We'll have coffee. Coffee will be on me, and I'd love to see you. And before we get into the show, we got a pretty big show today.
Yeah.
Right?
Why is that?
Because we got a lot of comics to go over.
Okay. Yeah. Your stack is bigger than mine.
It's okay. It's okay. We're not comparing today, right?
Oh no.
Okay. There we go. Okay. So before we get into the announcements, we'll just go talk about the coffee that we're drinking.
Okay.
What are you having today?
I got a mocha.
A mocha.
Yes.
Just a good old
mocha.
mainstay mocha.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
How you like it?
I'm loving it.
Awesome stuff. And I got another one of the pour overs. This is a Brazilian coco vey, and it's really tasty. It's really good. I love the pour overs. And here's to you, Sam.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Awesome stuff. Okay, so I got a couple of announcements before we get into our comics. The first announcement is this Wednesday night. We have this Wednesday night is, what's the date? This will be the 5th, right? That's right, it'll be the 5th. Wednesday,
The 4th.
March 5th.
The 4th.
You sure? I thought
Because
Monday was the 3rd.
Sunday's the 1st.
Sunday's the 1st. You're right.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So the 3rd.
The 4th.
The 4th.
Yes. Come on now.
This Wednesday night, folks.
Yeah.
We're going to be here at the Refuge for New Comic Book Day. We're having a New Comic Book Day hangout for anybody who's here in Portland. You don't have to be a YouTuber. You just have to love comics. And you don't even have to love coffee, but you can come on over here, meet us, and we're all going to hang out, read our comic books.
The admission is free.
Admission is free. There you go. And so yeah, if you're here in Portland, come join us. It's open to everybody. That'll be at 6 p.m. It'll definitely be after you and Bueller do the BS show.
Yeah.
And so it'll be cool. The Portland Comics crew will be here, and anybody else who wants to join, bring your comics, and we'll sit around and talk comics that night.
All right.
So looking forward to that. And then next is, as you heard on my last show, I'm coming up very close to 1,000 subscribers.
Yes, you are.
I just passed 750 this week. Thank you very much. And I'm going to have a giveaway for my first 1,000 subscribers. Some of you saw last episode, I'll put a graphic up on the screen of the poster I'm giving away.
Oh,
but
okay.
When Sam and Bueller and I went to the Image Comics executive signing over at I Like Comics in Vancouver,
Yeah.
6 of the Image executives signed this exclusive poster that was made just for that day.
Yeah.
All 6 of them signed it, and I'm going to be giving that away as my grand prize on that day.
Nice.
Second prize will be, I got some CDs from Ookla the Mock. Ookla the Mock is the band that does the theme song of the show.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people have asked about that, but I'll be giving away some CDs and maybe some stuff that signed by them. I really appreciate them for letting me use the song on the show.
Oh, yeah.
And they were good enough to send me some stuff so we can give it away to our watchers.
Nice.
Very cool. And the next thing is, as you know, I'm on another show on the Comics with Bueller channel, the new Coffee and Comics show, which drops every Monday morning, 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tune in, folks. It's the most amazing show. Bueller and I have a pretty in-depth discussion every week. We let your comments drive our discussion. So Bueller has the preview video that he does every Wednesday, and it's the most watched preview video on YouTube.
Yeah.
And on that show, he'll ask a question that we use for our show.
Yeah.
And so go there, check out his preview video, listen and leave a comment on that video, because we'll use those comments to drive our conversation. This week's question is, are top 10 videos good for comics? And I think it's a great question. So many of the people we know do top 10 lists on YouTube, and I think it's going to be an in-your-face discussion, because basically Bueller's putting himself out there.
Oh, yeah, I heard.
Along with a few other of his friends. So I'm looking forward to that conversation. And again, 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Check it out, folks. And then I have a new show on my channel.
Oh, yeah?
It's the Weekly Rundown. It happens on Thursday nights. Now, it's kind of been fluid with the time, but I'm making it a little bit later. We're definitely going to be starting at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Thursdays. This show will be going over the latest in pop culture news, mostly comic book related TV and movie news. But you'll see, we talk about anything. It's awesome. Last show we had a discussion about the firing of Dan DiDio, and it was awesome. So tune into that, folks. I really appreciate that. And then the last announcement that I have is that the Washington State SummerCon is coming up.
It's coming.
Yeah, this is going to be June 20th and the 21st. This is going to be at the Washington State Fair and Events Center in Puyallup, Washington. And the Portland Comics crew is going to be there.
Yeah.
If you have not gone to their website and checked out the lineup, go do so now. I'll leave a link down in the description. It's one of the most amazing lineups you'll ever see. There are so many legends coming to this thing, you don't want to miss it. Last year we went and it was a smaller con, so you got to hang out with these guys, and it's going to be no different this year.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we're all going to be there. If you're going to be there, let us know, because we'd love to meet you, love to hang out with you. It's going to be one of the best cons of the year, so definitely check that out. And both Bueller and I will be announcing that on our show. Sam, you should probably be announcing it on your show.
I should be, yes.
Most definitely. And then, we'd love to see you guys there. Okay, so that right there is our announcements for the day. We're going to get into our show. Now, if you've never watched the show before, because I know we have a lot of new subscribers, we have a rating system that we use on this show, and I call it the Daredevil rating system. And Daredevil, he has his 2 fighting sticks. And so if we like a comic book, we're going to give it 2 sticks up. If we're on the fence about it, it was kind of good, kind of bad, we'll maybe give it a stick up and a stick down.
Yeah.
And if we really didn't like it, we'll give it 2 sticks down. And you'll see a graphic on the screen representing those ratings. And that's what we use going forward. So just to make sure you understand what's going on there, that's the rating system, folks. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into our first book of the morning. And Mr. Sam, why don't you go first?
Okay. Well, this is XMen number 7 here.
Oh yes.
With you got Apocalypse right there. He's smashing his way through, even though he does not smash through a image of Nightcrawler, but Nightcrawler is having a discussion with Cyclops about this thing called the Crucible. And this is something that is a bit of a sticking point, it seems, with Nightcrawler, because he's a bit of a religious man.
Move it over this way just a little bit. There you go.
So they're having this discussion, and then fairly soon there's an event called the Crucible, and this is where they pick somebody who has lost their powers, and I don't know, it seems like, I don't know if Apocalypse fights all of them every time, but he fights them, and then they go through a metamorphosis if they pass the test, and they become a mutant again with their powers, and it's really crazy, I gotta say. Really good art in this too, by the way.
Awesome stuff. So you give that 2 sticks up, 2 sticks.
I give it 2 sticks up.
2 sticks up. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I also had a chance to read that, and that Crucible was something that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
Really good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, great review, man.
Thank you.
So my first book is DC Comics. We got Suicide Squad #3. There you go. And you know,
King Shark.
King Shark is in this.
Oh, I thought that was.
Oh, yeah. That is King Shark.
Okay.
And so, you look, I was not going to review this book, but I gotta say, Suicide Squad keeps surprising me. Tom Taylor is the guy who writes it. We got art by Bruno Redondo, and the colors are by Adriano Lucas. The colors in here are really well done. And again, this book keeps surprising me. The writing is so well done. So basically, in the first book, we found out that Amanda Waller is no longer the head of Task Force X. They got this new guy that they put in place named Locke. And then you had 2 different groups. You had the Suicide Squad and this other group kind of clashing, and there's some deaths that happened, which was pretty incredible in that first book. And they basically melded those 2 teams, and that's where we've kind of been since, is those 2 teams forming the new Task Force X under this guy named Locke. Well, basically, we find out inside of this book that those newer members are actually there because Task Force X has been usurped. They've been taken over. This guy Locke, that's the new leader, he basically displaced Amanda Waller, and now he's got this subversive thing where he's going to use the task force for things that they were never meant to be used for, and so these other guys are there to kind of help him out. I'm not going to tell you much more than that. It was such a fun read. There is a huge thing that happens with King Shark inside of this that blew me away. The action is great. The writing is great. We're starting to get into some more of the personalities of these newer characters. In the first book, I did not care about them. This book has got me starting to really like some of these new characters, and I'm really into it. My hat's off to Tom Taylor. He's a great writer. I'm really excited to see where he goes. It takes this book next. It keeps surprising me, and as long as it keeps surprising me, I'm going to keep reading it. So there you go. Suicide Squad #3. I give this one 2 sticks up.
Now, is that part of Year of the Villain? Or is it,
no, this has.
Past that now?
Year of the Villain is still going on in DC, but this hasn't been tied to it so far in any way. Okay. So kind of its own thing.
I'm just reading up on this Year of the Villain thing, and wow, DC, whoa.
Yeah, it's been quite an event, that's for sure. Yeah. All right, well, Sam, what's your next book?
Hey, my next book here. Are we allowed to do spoilers, by the way?
Yeah, that's what this again. Yeah, thank you very much for saying that. We do a more spoilery review on this show only because of the fact that new comic books came out on Wednesday. It's Saturday. If you haven't read your books already, that's on you.
So anyway, this here is Avengers 31, and this is, as you can see, the last temptation of Tony Stark, Iron Man. He finds himself trapped in a cave way back in the Ice Age, way back in prehistoric times, and he doesn't know how he got there, and he is being tempted, and he's not sure what's going on. He's having dreams about his past when he was a child, and he ran across his father and some some craziness was going on. I believe his father was involved in some kind of cult or something, and so Tony is just having a hard time with all this because he's a man of science and he's having a hard time dealing with all this different things that he's not used to, and then eventually you find out Mephisto has something to do with this, and he's trying to tempt Tony Stark, and he's like, he wants Tony Stark's soul or something like that, and he keeps acting like he knows about Tony's father really well, and then you find out later on that Mephisto is wanting to kill all the Tony Starks in all the universes, in all the different parallel universes, and this is something that's going to be coming down the road, I guess. There's something big happening, so I give this 2 sticks up. 2
sticks up. So, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Great review. I didn't actually pick up that book this week.
It's a good book.
That's awesome.
It's good.
Out of the myriad of books, I try to pick up as much as I can, and I can't pick up everything. And Avengers, I kind of hop back on every once in a while, and so that's a great review.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to my next book is this is Detective Comics 1020, and this one is written by Peter J. Tomasi and art by Brad Walker, and the colors in this are amazing as well. I'll only mention the colorist if I like the colors, and the colors by Brad Anderson, and these are really well done. You see the artwork on that, you see for Two-Face and Batman there, and that's the same artist on the cover that's inside of the book, the Brad Walker. And I gotta tell you, I really dug the artwork inside of this.
Yeah.
The colors are amazing. The one thing that I wasn't kind of on board with is the way they did the colors on Batman himself. They kind of made the cowl and the cape look like it was patent leather. So it felt like it was still black, but it was shiny, and that was kind of a weird choice. But the artwork inside of this is really well done. I dug it. And so the Two-Face inside of this is so creepy. He's back. They're saying that this is going to be the last Two-Face face-off between him and Batman. I'll parrot Bueller. I'll believe it when I see it. But it basically starts with a murder, and you can see that clearly it's Two-Face that does that murder. And he takes out these 2 gangsters. Of course, Batman finds the crime scene, and he starts to do his detective work to figure out who did it, and immediately he kind of knows that it's Harvey, and he starts going after him. So you kind of got Harvey, who's ahead of him, and Batman, who's kind of, trying to find him, coming behind him, closing in on him. And throughout the story, you get the sense that Two-Face's sense of justice, that flipping of the coin, it's not doing the same thing like it normally does. It seems like the bad side of him kind of wants to override the coin now. And so that kind of comes out in a few different areas, which means he's got no filters whatsoever. He's kind of unchained. And anyway, you get to the end of the book and you find out that Two-Face has basically got a bunch of henchmen that he has made kind of like cultists. They've each swallowed a coin, and they say the words "two of us," or us two, or something like that. And then you see this a church of 2, right? And all of them have the coins in their heads, and it looks like a really vicious crowd of henchmen. And that's kind of where we're going with it next. Detective Comics has been one of my favorite. Last night I was on a live stream roundtable with Robbie from Pop Culture Philosophers, Bueller, Dylan from Dylan's Comics. Dylan really loves this book. I got to agree with you, brother. And we talked about it last night. If you haven't seen that live stream, go check it out. It's on Pop Culture Philosophers. It was a lot of fun. We're going to do that once a month, and other people will be invited to it. It's going to be amazing. Anyway, I give this 2 sticks up. Definitely check this one out if you haven't been on Detective Comics. This is a good hopping on point because it's a new storyline. Anyway, 2 sticks up, folks. Check it out.
All
right, Sam. What you got next?
I got the the second issue of X-Men Fantastic Four.
Oh, such a great issue.
With Chip Zdarsky and Terry Dodson doing the art. This is, I don't know what more can be said, because this is awesome, because you've got the Fantastic Four and the X-Men in conflict over Franklin Richards, because he is supposedly he's supposed to be the most powerful mutant, and he is kind of in a bit of a state of a flux, because he's losing his powers, and he didn't know who to turn to, and he was trying to talk to the X-Men, and for some reason he wasn't able to get on Crokea through the portal, and because Reed Richards tampered with his DNA or something,
right.
So it wouldn't register, and so he had to go on the ship with Kitty. Well, at the end of the first issue, there was a bit of somebody showed up at the end there, and it was our boy Dr. Doom, and then you find out in this issue that Doom has his own island.
Yeah.
And he retreats there at times, and he's got he brings people there and to help him, and he's brought Kitty and her crew, and Franklin Richards and Valera, and they're talking about things while Reed and Sue and Johnny and Ben from the Fantastic Four are on their way to Crokea to talk to the X-Men, and a big battle erupts, and then what you get Dr. Doom is like I will help you, Franklin, and so I definitely can't wait for the third issue.
Yeah.
So this also gets 2 sticks. Right?
That's awesome.
So.
I also got a chance to read that one. The last page inside of that book blew me away.
Yeah.
I mean, that is so Dr. Doom, it's not even funny.
Right. And that's even better than the normal.
Exactly.
The other Dr. Doom issues.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that Dr. Doom, that new Dr. Doom, I don't know what they're doing with that, but that's not
Doom.
Doom.
Turn around.
Yeah, that's for sure. But if you haven't read that one last page, it's got a really amazing reading to them. Thank you, that's an awesome one, man. Okay, so next one I got is Olympia, number 4 from Image Comics. Of course, I've been loving this comic. It's been probably one of the best comics come out in the last 4 months. This one is written by Tony and Kurt Pyers, and the art is by Alex Diato. This one takes up right where the last one left off. We have the creator of the book named Kirby, which I thought was just great, since this is, this whole series is kind of a tribute to Jack Kirby. So basically this guy that the comic book creator, wrote about and created, shows up on Earth, and here's this kid who's helping him out, and they bring him to the writer. And so here's the writer's creation in his house, and the last page of the book, he faints, right? So he basically is waking up inside of this book. That's where we pick up where we left off. And, there's a really cool thing that happens inside of this where, basically when they found him in that house before he faints, he was going to commit suicide. And so through some conversation, the kid pulls him aside and basically tells him, look, I know what you were going to do. And there's this kind of a dialogue about how life can beat somebody down and bring you to a place where you don't want to live anymore. And that's basically what happened to this writer. And sometimes you just need somebody to kick you in the butt emotionally. And I love this scene inside of this book. This kid kicks him in the butt emotionally and says, don't you know how precious it is to live? And I love that scene. And so while all this is going on, of course, you have this hero in the background. He's kind of like a Thor character. And he's watching this conversation between him and the kid. and he doesn't know what's going on, but he has such a sense of liking the kid. He goes over to the creator, the guy who created him, and tells him, "You harm a hair on his head, I'll kill you." He just lays down the law. Anyway, in the background, the Thor character's nemesis, who's basically in a different dimension, has figured out a way to come to Earth, and he brings a bunch of minions with him. And so the next issue is the last issue. It's supposed to be like 50 pages long, and it's supposed to be nothing but a huge battle royale on Earth. Can't wait for it. If you haven't been reading this book, this is a must for comic fans. It's so well done. I definitely give this one 2 sticks up. Again, if you haven't been checking it out, you got to read it. It's good stuff, man.
Oh, wow. What issue number is that?
What's that?
What issue
This
number
is issue number 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you haven't read the other ones, man, we'll get you up to speed.
Okay.
What's your next one, man?
My next one is, of course, I got to pick up my buddy here, Ben Grimm.
Yes.
Because this is Fantastic Four, Grimm Noir, and this is by Jim Dugan.
Make sure you don't cover your face. There you go.
Yeah, Jim Dugan and Ron Garney. And this is a story about Ben Grimm. He's been having some bad dreams, and Alicia is like, "Well, tell me all about them."
Right.
And then as we are getting our picture taken,
I know.
Oh no! And then as we find out this is like creepy dude in Ben's like nightmares, and he describes what this guy looks like to Alicia, and she actually sculpts like a sculpture of his face, and he's like, "Oh, that's the dude." And so comes to find out that the lady next door to them has she's disappeared. We don't know where she's at. She used to sing, and they used to listen to her song all the time, and now she stopped. They don't know what's going on, and so Ben takes this sculpture of the face, trying to find out if Doctor Strange might know anything, and he's not home, but Wong says, "Oh, that's despair. That's this demon that is in people's their thoughts, like bringing despair and sadness and stuff." And so he gets sucked into this dimension, and despair is telling him, "Oh, I have you, and you're not going anywhere. This lady, she's going to sing for me," and all this. And Ben eventually overcomes it, and he brings the lady out of the dimension, and everything seems pretty good, except at the end you see a little pebble fall off of Ben's his rockiness
skin.
Yeah, and so there's a question mark. Oh, maybe it's not quite the end. So I definitely give this book two thumbs up. It was awesome.
Right, that's awesome.
It was amazing.
I haven't read it yet. I'm excited to.
It's very good.
I'm surprised that they haven't done this before.
Really, I didn't think they needed to name it Fantastic Four Grimm Noir. Just name it like Ben Grimm, like Noir.
Or just Grimm Noir.
Yeah.
But him with that hat and the overcoat on.
That's just a classic look.
Exactly, but I'm surprised they haven't done this noir take on it before.
Oh yeah.
Really excited to get into that.
Yeah.
I'm even more excited to hear your review on it.
Yeah,
and,
that's amazing.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah.
Okay, cool deal, man. So the next book, I wasn't even going to read this one. To me, the premise was like, I didn't think it could ever work. I know Robbie on Pop Culture Philosophers, he did a pre-review of it on his channel before it came out. And even with that, as much as I enjoy his reviews, and by the way, if you're not familiar with Pop Culture Philosophers, go check out Robbie's channel. He does reviews every week. He's one of the best reviewers you'll ever find. His video drops every Tuesday night, right before New Comic Book Day. You got to check it out. But even with his review, you know, I was still like, I don't know if I'm on board with this thing. But the book is by Vault Comics, and it's called Finger Guns. And so I got to tell you, I mean, you know, I picked it up this week, and I really enjoyed it. It really actually works. The premise is basically there's a couple of kids, and they have the power to do things with their fingers, finger guns. And so with one finger, you can make people happy or joyous or calm. And if you use two fingers, then you can make people angry. And so this, the boy, the male character, he kind of, you know, is a latchkey kid, and he's kind of disgruntled with his life, and he sees a situation, and he kind of gets mad, and he waves his finger, and bam, all of a sudden, somebody goes off and gets really angry. And so here's this beginning of it. He's like, well, what just happened? And he tests it out, and sure enough, every time he uses it, he can make people angry. And so he starts using it in the wrong way. And then all of a sudden, here's this girl he finds, somebody from his school that he bumped into earlier, of course, and they have this kind of meet cute. And she calms down one of the people with her finger gun that he made angry. And he's like, hey, wait. And next thing you know, this cool conversation happens between the two of them and kind of exploring their powers. It all culminates in the end with them using their powers on each other to try to test it out. And what the boy finds is he didn't like it because in the midst of when that power hits you, it controls you, and he didn't like feeling controlled. Anyway, really great read. If this is not on your radar, pick it up. I think you'll enjoy it very much. I did. I didn't think the premise would work. I don't care how much I talk about this story and reviewing it. I don't think that I can do it justice. Nothing that I'm going to say is going to make you excited about, you know, guns, finger guns being powered. But when you read it, you'll find out just how enjoyable it is. So definitely check it out. I definitely give it 2 sticks up. All right, Mr. Sam.
Okay,
what you got next?
Okay, you're not going to believe this. Look at this here. I got the Flash. Look at that. That's a facsimile, folks. Of this is Flash 123. This has got Jay Garrett, the Flash from the olden days.
The original Jay.
Yes. And this is the first time that Barry Allen meets Jay Garrett, because he does this thing where he goes he goes on stage and he spins real fast. This is from like the 1960s or something like that. He spins really fast, and he goes back back into another. He goes back in time, but also to another universe. I think it's Earth 2 or something like that. I forget. But he meets Jay Garrett, and he helps him against 3 of his foes over there. And this I was blown away at how much fun this book was. So I got to give it 2 sticks.
2 sticks up. That's awesome. Well, there's your first 5 books.
Yeah.
Which one of those was your pick of the week?
Oh, it had to be the old,
The Grimm. Yeah, the Grimm Noir. That's your pick of the week.
Yeah.
That's awesome stuff.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read that book.
Yeah.
But great review on The Flash.
Oh yeah, I tried.
There we go. I'm going to move this just a little bit.
My first DC review. Ooh.
That's right. We have a milestone here, folks.
Yeah.
We got Sam, proof that he does read DC.
And you had it here first. How
That's
about that?
exactly right. On Everything Comics, I am lucky. That's good stuff. Well, that's an awesome review. Thank you very much, Sam. Okay, so here's my pick of the week.
Okay.
And this is a book that, I was very upset that I didn't hop on it from the very beginning, because I hear nothing but good things about it. And that's Ice Cream Man by Image Comics. Now, Sleepy Reader, Damien, Sleepy Reader 666, he basically turned me on to the Hoopla app. And with Hoopla, you can get your local library card.
Yeah, I heard that.
And you can get so many trade paperbacks for free, basically. They're all just sitting there. And I was able to pick up the first 3 trades for Ice Cream Man, and so I'm not all the way caught up. But because this is an anthology series, you can hop on it wherever you want. And so I'll just say it's written by W. Maxwell Prince. It is the art's by Martin Morazzo, I think his name is. And so this is the first time I'm actually hopping onto it, and I got to tell you, I love this. I loved it and I hated it at the same time. I love a good horror story, and usually the medium. I love creepiness. I love good horror stories, but this made my skin crawl.
Oh wow!
Because it deals with something that I'm afraid of myself, which is basically coming into and losing my memories. Being in a place where I can't stop my memories from being lost or filtering away. As you can see, the head, all the memories coming out of this guy, which is great artwork. But the premise starts with this guy in a hospital bed. You can definitely see he's at the end of his life, and he's starting to go through these memories. And the first thing that he says is, "The gremlin is at it again." And he comes to this memory, and he's trying to get the words out, and he kind of stumbles, and that's kind of how it's written. This stumbling of the words and forming the words for the memory is actually just as much of a vehicle as the artwork is.
Wow.
But as he's remembering these memories, this little gremlin comes into the scene, and he's really creepy looking, and he starts to take everything, and it starts to disappear. And he's trying to stop it, and he can't.
Wow.
And even his kids come to visit him, and this gremlin is there the whole time. Just really creepy. And he's fighting to keep who he is in the end, until finally he doesn't even know who he is.
Wow.
And it just creeped me out. It was so well written. The gremlin creature that they represented was really creepy. And even as much as I hated all that because my skin was crawling and it's something that I'm afraid of myself, it was almost poetic. I mean, that's the best thing I can say about it. It's as creepy as it is poetic. And if you can do that inside of a comic book, my hat's off to you.
Yeah.
2 sticks up. That's my pick of the week. If you're not reading Ice Cream Man, it's my first time. Definitely pick this book up.
I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, for sure. So those right there are our main reviews.
Yeah.
We made it through the main review, Sam. Come on, man.
And that's awesome.
Very good. So now we're going to go into our mini reviews, and we're not going to go as in depth on these. So what's your first mini review?
Okay, my first mini review. I got to pick up these facsimiles, and I had this. Had to pick up this. Of course, had to pick up this Wolverine #1
Classic
with Chris Claremont and John Buscema doing the art, and oh man, this is an awesome book.
Can't beat that one.
No. I was so happy that it came out. I'm like, yes, I finally get it back in my collection.
Yes.
And this is wonderful art, and the story by Chris Claremont is fantastic, and it makes me really want to go out there and seek out the rest of the storyline, because it's a really great storyline, this first issue. He's looking for a sword, and he goes through a whole island of these guys. They're like pirates, and it's amazing. It's fantastic.
That's good stuff.
So,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
2 sticks up?
2 sticks up.
2 sticks up. Awesome. All right, my first one, my mini reviews is Kill Lock #3. This is by IDW, art and writing by Livio Ramondelli. I have been loving this book since the very first issue. It's been an awesome story. Dylan from Dylan's Comics, he did a little bit of a review on it last night. We both love this book. If you're not reading this one, you should be. The artwork is great. The story is good. I love the way the characters are developing. 2 sticks up.
Wow. And you know me and my true believers.
Yes.
I got this Iron Man one, and this is I believe this is from Iron Man 118, and this has Tony Stark. As you can see, he got thrown out of a shield helicarrier there.
You can see that.
And he's having a tough time there, and this is amazing. Once again, 2 sticks up for me on this one.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. My next one is also by IDW, and this is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Jenica. And this is the debut, well, it's not her first appearance, but this is her first book.
First solo?
First solo book.
Nice.
And, I had really high hopes for this. Okay. The story and art and the letters are done by Brom Revell. I've never heard of that guy before. First of all, I just want to say I didn't like the artwork. I was very disappointed in it. For a first go-around, I was expecting something a little bit more. There's an amazing cover out there for this particular character on this book. I want to get that cover. But I got to tell you, that doesn't match up with the artwork inside of this. I don't know, it's not for me. It didn't grab me. The story was, it was subpar, blasé. That also didn't grab a hold of me. So unfortunately, I got to give this 2 sticks down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. And look at this, a second DC
DC
book. And a Flash book.
Yes.
Look at this. This is one of those dollar comics. I'm like, really? I'm getting sucked into the DC world here. But this was pretty good. You got this is Wally West. First time he officially becomes the Flash after Barry Allen he got killed during the Crisis
Crisis on Infinite Earth, yeah.
See, I know my DC. I know.
See, look at that! Come on, Sam.
Stuff. And so this was pretty good, And you got Mike Barron, who was the writer, who also was the writer on The Punisher.
That's right.
And you got Jackson Geist doing the art, and I gotta give it 2 sticks out.
Nothing wrong with that.
DC book. Oh my goodness.
That's awesome stuff. So. Well, here you have it. Sam is a closet DC reader, and now the cat's out of the bag.
Oh no. And the dog.
There we go. Did you watch the Flash TV show this week?
I didn't. I've only watched the first 2 seasons.
First 2 seasons. There was a great episode with Flash and Gorilla Grodd, and Gorilla Grodd gets the Flash's powers and fights Solivar. It was off the hook incredible. Some of the best comic book TV stuff I've seen, especially when you have a low budget special effects going on. It was awesome stuff.
What season is it on now?
I think it's the 6th season, 6th or 7th.
See,
I think it's 6th season.
See, I gotta catch up.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Flash has been consistent out of all of them. And then my last mini review is I got the Folklords number 4 by Boom Studios. Of course, this is the artwork is by Matt Kent. It's written by Matt Kent, and the artwork is done by Matt Smith. And this was definitely a solid read. I loved the way the story has evolved. This one takes it to the next level, which is what I've been waiting for. I kind of figured in the end, the very last reveal, we kind of know what a Folklord is now, even though they haven't said it. But I just love this book. Boom Studios has been killing it. Definitely a 2 sticks up. If you haven't been reading this book, get it. Well, there you go. Those are our mini reviews.
And you know what?
You got one more mini review?
And I just want to do this one real quick, if I can. This is Tarot. It's not tarot. It's like a
carrot?
Like a carrot. No, not a carrot. It's Tarot, and this is the Avengers and Defenders. This is a kind of like a retake of like a unheard of past adventure of the Avengers and Defenders, and Diablo is in the mix, and then you have these new characters called the Unbelievables. And, that's pretty crazy stuff. So that's what I have to say about that.
That's awesome. And so those are our mini reviews. Now, there were other things that were on my pull list this week. I know you had other stuff on your pull list this week that we are not going to get a chance to review, but I definitely wanted to show them off. Why don't you go ahead and show the rest of your books, Sam, if you got them?
Let's see here. Because I might have went through them all.
Did you?
I did go through them.
Okay, not a problem. So the other books that I have this week that some of them I've read, some of them I haven't. I just picked up ones that I thought would be great to review. That's the ones that you saw me review. But here's the other books I got. Definitely got Philadelphia number 4. Haven't read it yet. I've been on board with this since issue 1. The last 2 issues I really didn't like. If it doesn't pick up inside of this issue, I will be dropping it. But I had really high hopes for this book. Next one is, I definitely got the Hell Arisen book. Didn't want to review that this week because everybody's talking about it, so you can get as much information out there as you want on it. I enjoyed it, but there you go, there's Hell Arisen. Another book that I'm really excited about is The Protector #2 by Image Comics. I really enjoyed issue #1, but I got to say, I can't wait to read that one.
Oh, I can't believe you got this.
I know. Then I got Amazing Spider-Man #40. I know Sam
For some
is.
reason I didn't get it.
And that surprises me. I got the Spider-Man book and you don't.
I don't know.
How does that happen, Sam?
I don't know. How did it happen?
There's a time and place for everything, folks. But anyways, I made Spider-Man #40. I can't wait to read that one. Also, Star Wars #3. I really enjoyed this new Star Wars series taking place right after Empire Strikes Back. It's been amazing. This one, they go to Cloud City. It was a really good read. And then we got Ant-Man #3. I love the first, #2. I love the first one. I heard the second one is really good. Can't wait to get into that one. And then I got Star #2. I enjoyed the first one as well, and I'll stay on it as long as I enjoy it. And so we'll see where they take the character. But those are my books this week. And then, of course, I did get the X-Men versus Fantastic Four. I did get the X-Men book, and so I definitely have read those as well.
Awesome.
But a lot of great comics this week.
Yeah.
It just seems like every week we're getting
some great stuff. This is a great time to be a comic fan.
Amen, right?
So,
It's just been an amazing time. I hope you've been having a great time as well, because it is a great time to be a collector. And so there are books, folks, and when we're done with our books, one of the things that we do on the channel is we have our question of the week. And the question of the week comes from questions that you leave in the comments. Do me a favor, if you have a question that you'd like to ask, leave it in the comments. We ask one question a week. I do save them up. I will get to your question eventually. But leave a question that you'd like to ask. That's how we interact with you on the show. And this week's question comes from Devin Griffiths. And his question was, I've been asked this before, but I thought it was time to talk about it. But his question is, he wants to know how many comic books I have in my collection. He basically put it like this: do you know how many books you have in your collection? And so I'll answer it both ways. And Sam, I told you we were going to be answering this question.
Yes.
And so for you, how many books do you have in your collection?
And I'm right around 2,200.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's grown by leaps and bounds, but I'm slowing down though because we got MegaCon coming up.
Yes.
And trying
Save
to hold
up
it
your
up,
money.
Although Frankenstein is today. So
That's right.
But yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah. But at Frankenstein, you can get a lot of good books really cheap.
Yeah. Yes.
That's for sure. But that's a great amount of comics.
Yeah.
And definitely taking up some space in your house. That's for
I got
sure.
a lot of trades and hardbacks too. So,
Oh, there you go. How many trades do you think you have?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, probably
a lot, and hardbacks. Got some Daredevil in there too, but
Yeah.
I know that. So,
Come on, man.
Yeah, so,
Well, Sam is definitely the Marvel man.
Yeah.
We know he's a closet DC reader. We've seen that, so I'm sure he has some DC stuff there too. But Sam is definitely one of those guys that if you met him, he'd parrot Stan Lee and make mine Marvel.
definitely.
That's good stuff. Well, I appreciate you answering that question. For myself, he said, do I know how many books I have in my collection? I don't actually know the number, but I can put it to you this way. I don't have as many comics as people think I do.
How many short boxes?
I'm going to get to that.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah, so there are a lot of people, I guess because of doing YouTube or whatever, they think I have this huge comic collection. Even slabs, because I've talked about my slabs, and they think I have this huge amount of slabs. I don't have that many. So the bottom line is that right around 1999, I had to sell my comics collection, and I had basically my comic collection was worth about $22,000 at the time. We were in dire straits, and I had to sell it, and it killed me to do so, and that's why I didn't read comics for almost 20 years because I couldn't see myself getting back into it and having to build all that back up again. I ended up selling it for $6,000, which was just a travesty.
Yeah.
But it got us through at the time, so I'm grateful for that. And what I'm even more grateful for is that because of the Marvel movies, I was drawn back in. I couldn't stay away. And I started reading comics again, and that's how I started getting back into all this. And so I just started about a year, maybe about a year and a half ago, right? Let's see. Yeah, about a year and a half, close to 2 years. So, and during that time, you know, I started off really slowly, and I've kind of built it up. But basically, at this particular point inside of my collection, I have 8 short boxes.
Nice.
All of those boxes are 80 to 90% full. I have 1 full long box, which is strictly all Daredevil.
Of course.
I have more Daredevil than that, but that long box is dedicated to him. And I probably am about to start my second long box.
Nice.
Because I am definitely collecting through on him. And then as far as the slab books go, I got 14 slabs. And I'd say all but 2 of them are signature series, because that's the thing that I love to do is go to creators and get their signatures.
Nice.
That's just a fun thing for me. And so yeah, I don't have as many slabs as people have given me credit for. But yeah, 14 slabs. And then I have the DC Black Label magazine format. I got about 24 of those.
Wow, there's been 24 of them?
Yeah. And then I counted it last night. I have 28 graphic novels slash trade paperbacks.
Daredevil stuff?
I got a bunch of Daredevil stuff in there as well. I've got a lot of the mainstays that I wanted, Crisis on Infinite Earths and Old Man Logan and Secret Invasion. I mean, I got all kinds of the trade paperbacks. Of course, the first one I had to buy was The Watchmen. And that's kind of how it started there. And then, so that's what in my physical collection, that's what I have. And it's growing all the time. I'm a little more selective than I used to be. Of course, new comics probably fill up most of it because I'm buying those more. I would love to get more back issues, but I'm taking my time with those and only buying what I want, not everything like I used to.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the digital media gives me this massive collection.
Oh yeah.
Right? The Marvel Unlimited app gives me so many comics to be able to read. I can catch up on things. Quiet in the cheap seats. And then the DC Universe app, I get all kinds of stuff there. And then, of course, Hoopla, which I was just turned on to by Damien Sleepy Reader 666.
What's all the Hoopla?
Yeah, exactly. All the Hooplas, we got a photo bomber in the background, and he won't be quiet. How you doing, Bueller?
I've been sitting here for a half hour.
No, we've noticed. It's good to see you, brother. And so, but that's it. I mean, that's all of the comics that I have inside of my collection. It's not much, but I love it, and it's constantly growing, and can't wait to see what's next.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow, awesome stuff. So that's our show for today, folks. Of course, this is what we do every Saturday morning, and I just absolutely love it. Sam, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Sam, why don't you tell the folks about your show?
I got Sam's Tangled Web over there, and I try to do at least a video a week, and I got the BS show that I do with Bueller, and we have a lot of fun over there, and so yeah, anytime I can be a guest on somebody's show, I'll do that.
Sounds good, man. Well, it's so great to have you here, and look forward to hanging out with you today at the Frankenstein Swap.
Yeah.
That's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And of course, for me, you'll find me also on the Comics with Bueller channel. If you look right behind us, hey Bueller, just wave to everybody for me real quick. Hey, that's our good buddy Bueller, and definitely 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time is the new Coffee and Comic Show. If you haven't been to his channel, I know most of you have, but go check it out. He has the most incredible preview video. His top 10 video is great, and he puts out content all the time, and he's a really good friend. And so thank you guys very much for tuning in today. As always, hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know what you think about the show. I appreciate you guys. Remember, always support your local comic shop, and Excelsior, folks. Take care.
Your face, you continue to debate whether Logan's claws could pierce Steve Rogers'